All right. So I think we are back. Yay. And it's back to normal. I can actually see y'all in real time. I love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Hi, my name is Diamond Styles. I'll be going live whenever the I want. Usually Friday at 7. All right, now we're back to normal. Hey, Miss Poke. Hey, California. Hey, Trishan. I want to talk about the beauty of our people. I'm inspired to talk about it. And when I say our people, it's going to be a bunch of demographics that I talk about, not just um, not just the niggas, but the intersection of other demographics, along with the niggas. So the trans niggas, the gay niggas, and niggas being a neutral term, gender neutral term, because I like being a nigga. Hey Turner. All right, I'm gonna enjoy my grapefruit too. But before we get started, what's been going on with y'all? How has y'all? It's Thursday, isn't it? Is it Thursday or Wednesday? What's today? Your last member only video was everything. 5 hours and not a single idle second. My homegirl Jay um hit me up and said she watched it. She says, I don't know how you stay on there for 5 hours and not be boring. When you got some shit to talk about, you can just talk about it. And I don't be expecting it to go so long. I'd be like, oh, I can talk about this in 3 hours. But I be wanting to give y'all more detail about shit. Especially that live was a key. Especially that because it was a subject that was sensitive to me. And and the reason why I decided to talk about that subject on the live is because this week is BTAC. And this is the first time in 13 years. Was 2011? Is it 13? Is that 13 years? Shit, almost 14. Yeah, 14. Shit. This is the first time I did not go to BTAC in 14 years. That's how much I loved the space and loved being in community with Black trans people. And so a part of me talking about it is a part of me grieving the loss of the space because it's a unique space. Um, and so, but part of me is two things. And I talked about it on the live, but I can talk about it here because if you want to see the live, you can see it. It's on, it's in the members section. um, I recently had a post where I'm saying, like, look, I have, I'm still friends with I, it's very hard. I don't, I don't just throw people away. And so I stay friends with people for a long time because I know everybody is not perfect, including myself. And so if something happened between me and my friends, we talk about it. What's going on? And we can disagree. Hey CL. And we can disagree. Welcome. And we can disagree about how things went down. And if it's not so ugly that we can recover from it and do things different in the future, I'm actually open to that. Because usually, if you're my friend, I really like you. And so we can talk about it and we don't have to agree on what happened, but we can get to a point where if it's something that's not super heavy and traumatizing, we can move forward with each other differently. You feel what I'm saying? Like if I'm not somebody that's just, oh, I don't fuck with them and I'm really not that person. I can adjust and maneuver. I can adjust and maneuver in a way where, oh, yeah, okay, well, we can just work differently together. Um, and I'm usually like that. Look, I've been friends with Ty since we was 12, child. Do you think our whole relationship has been great as friends? No. But we are honest with each other and we set boundaries. And so we can continue to be friends and still love each other and still be in community with each other because we have gotten down to the bottom of whatever is going on and blah 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 blah. And so most of my friends I can talk about it, but when you are the type of person or it's a space where it's continuous shit happening and you're not changing when I tell you, because I'm also very direct. And so if I'm hurt by something, if I'm um if I'm hurt by something, if I feel like this just doesn't feel right or I'm uncomfortable with this, let's talk about it. Let's see what's going on. Is it my insecurities? Because I don't mind admitting I'm insecure about something. Is it making me feel insecure? Is it giving me anxiety? What is going on with me? Is it me? Is it you? Because sometimes it's not me. Sometimes it's just you. And that's okay. But as easily as I can accept that it's me, can you easily accept that it's you? Or are you going to gaslight me forever? And some people don't move through the world with integrity. And some people don't move through the world with confidence. So when you do call them out on their flaws, their character flaws, we all have them. Like, this looks like it's your ego and you're sensitive. No, it's not my. I have a lot of times they say, I have a right to my feelings. You do have a right to your feelings. Everybody does, but that don't mean your feelings are right. You have a right to your feelings, but that don't mean your feelings are right. And so I think this is BTech is a space that's fucking beautiful for somebody who needs surface level community connection. If you're somebody who needs that surface level community connection, like you want to be in space with Black trans people, you want to be affirmed, you want to feel joy. I think Big Tech is great for that. Me, as a leader, I need that, love it, but I get it in other ways. So when I'm in a space as a leader in that space, I still need to be taken care of behind the scenes. Hey, Vernus, thank you. I still need to be taken care of behind the scenes. And if you are not taking care of me behind the scenes in a reasonable way, then why am I in community with you? If you're making threats and it doesn't have to be me, and it doesn't have to be me, like if you threaten to call the police on trans people to me, I take that as a threat. Even if you're not talking about me, just the fact that you're talking about other people. if you are if you are talking about doing something to shake up my livelihood or do some kind of performative shit to make you look good. This is a grapefruit. To make you look good or whatever. It's whatever it is. Then I think of you as an enemy or a careless person that doesn't, well, the calling police thing, I think of you as an enemy. But just trying to be performative, I hate performative ass bitches. And I think we see a lot of that with activists because they will be on the surface, oh, I'm a community ass bitch. I'm community. But then behind the scenes doing totally off the wall, shady ass shit. Either out of anger or out of ego. And I think you can, that's just how people can be. And then when you get multiple people working in a space, moving like that, and they're on opposite sides, this one is performing and this one is performing. This one is operating from their ego. This one operating from their ego. Everybody in the room operating from their ego. Pretending to be about community when they really want to take everybody down in the room. They don't really want to compromise. They just want to be the one that seems like they are the one with integrity. When it ain't none of you bitches. Because you can hold this one accountable for this, but this one, while they holding this one accountable for this, these one is doing the same exact shit in the orgs that they run. Throwing people under the bus, firing, doing weird ass shit. But when it comes to this person moving in a very similarly anger, ego-driven way, they're ready to hold them accountable. Oh, the cis woman. and she could be wrong, absolutely. But just last week you were wrong too in the same way. Just last month you were shaking up a black trans woman's housing and security. It's strange. So that's why I need to talk about that. But I also don't want to burn it down because I think it's needed. And I think that you don't need to throw the baby out with the bathwater. You feel me? And so I can walk away from it and go about my business while somebody new and young who needs that kind of community can still enjoy it. And I can just find those kind of beautiful community spaces elsewhere. I can create them myself. Like I've been doing. So that's why I wanted to talk about it. And so I did on that video. And I wanted to give y'all the whole full detail of what was going on because I was getting messages from people asking me why I'm not there or coming to me saying that they don't feel really respected in the space this week and why I'm not there. And so I'm like, it doesn't feel like a safe space for me anymore. And so I don't need to be there. So, all right. Tonight, I went to see Sinners again. Have y'all seen Sinners? Are you going to see it? I'm not going to do any spoilers, but I want to. It's what sparked my thought. So I'm going to talk about it. Okay, y'all going to be mad at me. Why would we be mad at you? I give it a B minus. A B is a good grade. Why would they be mad at you? I'm going to see it here in the next few days. So yeah, I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to spoil it for y'all. But I really, really like it. But two things that I want to hone in on, not two things. I want to say two things. Yeah, two things. So the first thing, super, super simple. I think it is a metaphor for temptation. So, Cliff, when you see it, I want you to think about the vampires being a metaphor for temptation. And in that context, I want you to tell me what you think. So, but the secondary thing that I want to talk about is the beauty of our people, and not on a deep level. Deep, I want you to be deep and undeep, shallow and and deep. The beauty of our people at any given time. Yes, it's a lot of metaphors and symbolism, absolutely. But one of the beautiful things I think Black talented creators do is show our people beautifully if they are talented. Now, sometimes it don't be beautiful if they're not talented, but there's a scene. So there's a beautiful scene where it's like a dance scene when the main young character, he's a singer, and they kind of go through this scene where they show different Black people dancing. That's not the scene I'm talking about, but it's a beautiful scene. One of my favorite scenes in the story. But I want to talk about the beginning and the middle. I think, well, let's just say the beginning. So in the beginning, like right in the beginning, like right in the beginning, um, they are showing you the life of Mississippi sharecroppers in Clarksdale, Mississippi, post, post slavery. And a lot of times when we are, the way you are talking about this reminds me of Lovecraft Country. Yes, that is one. That is a beautiful show. It was a beautiful show. Yeah. Um, but a lot of times when we talk about this area of time, people who are not us, because they're coming in from a lens of, oh, I want to tell this story about, because it's around this time, I'm going to tell this story about race relations. So when when I film it, because they don't really know us, this area of time is downtrodden and sad. Like, it looks gloom. Like, let me give you a perfect example. Look at do y'all remember Ray? Jamie Foxx, Ray. Y'all remember Ray? On Ray, when they show Jamie Foxx when Ray Charles when he was young, not Jamie Foxx, Ray Charles when he was young, you remember his mama was like a washerwoman, and she was washing clothes, and that woman was hustling her behind the clothes. That scene where she had to come and check her about her money because she couldn't read, and the lady was kind of playing her about her money. Do y'all remember that scene? I know Ray been out for a long time, so y'all probably haven't seen it. But there's a scene like right in the beginning where Ray Charles's mother was, this lady was hustling her. She was charging the white people a certain amount to pay for the clothes, and paying her less, and paying Ray Charles' mama less because she couldn't read, and she didn't know. But if you remember that scene, it was poverty, it was sad, and not just the circumstance. It was like if you looked at what was going on in the movie, it looked exactly like what's going on in Ryan Coogler's movie. But the difference is the joy. Like, if you pay attention to Sinners, when they are in that scene where they picking cotton, they are doing the same exact shit that was happening in Ray, but it is actually depicted with some joy and liveliness to it, which for me is more honest to us because you see it today, you see it in the 90s during the crack epidemic, you see it in the 70s, you see it like when hip hop in the 70s when hip hop was being born. You see, even though think about the Bronx and New York in the 70s. It was shitty. But of this beautiful art form, from the graffiti to hip hop, these beautiful art forms are being birthed because regardless of the downtroddenness of the moment and the era, Black people are still going to find joy, almost like Black people in Tiana and the Frog. Yes, there's going to be joyous Black people. So in Sinners, and this don't have nothing to do with the plot, so I'm not spoiling any of the plot. When the movie starts, he is picking cotton, but there's not no, because this is a sharecropper time, they're picking somebody else's land. During sharecropper time, the way they got them back into slavery is to give them some land and give them some things to till, but then charge them for the land and make them in debt, and they never get out of debt. So that was a scheme. So you see him picking cotton. So in his mind, I want to go play my guitar tonight with my cousins. So I'm gonna do my quota of cotton picking. Because you got to pick a certain number of barrels. Usually each person needed to pick a certain number of barrels to reach a quota. And so he said, I'm gonna start early so that I can get my quota, and then I can leave with my guitar and go be with my cousins. But in that scene, his mama is washing clothes in a tin, in a bucket, in a pan, in a washer bucket, and he put some soaps under his armpit from the mama's bucket, and she laughed, "Boy, don't put that on your skin." And he kissed her in the face. It's this, normally, if it's not a talented person, this all seems sad in Black depictions. This all seems sad. It's either going to be argument or down, or the white people walking around and we got to put our head down. This is depicting us having joy in this time of our history. And that is what you would see. Everybody is not going to be like, oh, depressed and sad, even though the circumstances and the system has us fucked up. You feel what I'm saying? And so what I love about Sinners in this moment is, during the beauty of the film, just about that, is that he is showing that there is still a beauty in the joy that Black people have, was still being found and being depicted, and he's depicted in it in a way that's joyous, as which is unique, because like I said, other times people do not show that joy, and we don't really get to see it. The little kids were sleeping on pallets in the shotgun houses. It could easily be the sad poverty music and blah 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 blah, but they were waking up on their pallets, throwing pillows at each other, being playful. The little boy was walking through the house saying, "Come on, mama said get up." And while the visual of what was going on was the poverty of, you know, all these fucking 6 kids living in the house, it can, even on classic beauties like Color Purple. Beauty Color Purple is depicted. You don't really get to see the other than the life of them being joyous. Like, yeah, as a plot tool, you see Nettie and Celie having fun with each other. Whenever pop, but that's as a plot tool. They're showing you joy of them because you need that as a juxtaposition when he throw her out and kick her out. You see what I'm saying? But if you look at the people around, there ain't no joy happening. You know, joy. And so what I love about this is that they were showing the joy in the depiction of what was happening in the time, even though we usually see depiction, because black people would have been finding some kind of joy. That's why juke joints was popular. That's why we would have these moments that we are creating for ourselves that were outside of religion. Not saying that there couldn't be no joy in the church house. That's why it was so much overlap with the musicians at the church house and at the juke joint. And so I think that that is beautiful and beautifully done in a way that depicts us in truth. I feel like that's truth. We're gonna always find joy in how we in whatever circumstances that we are in. And so that in general is black history, but also think about black queer history. The whole the whole ball scene is the foundation of its creation is that we were being pushed out of white drag ball spaces. So while the white queens too, also they're being oppressed by the cisgender main culture, the white queens are trying to create a space where they can find the joy and have the balls and do those the drag balls and do those things. They too are trying to find their own unique space, but they because of racism they were pushing black and they were pushing non-white people out, particularly black, particularly Latinx, whatever, anything non-white. They were pushing them out. And so birthed the ball scene, like the black underground ball scene. And so while you know we didn't have that, here we go in the 70s and the 80s with no kind of queer protections, no kind of queer acceptance on a general level when it comes to the mainstream public culturally. We still were creating a space of joy and love and community. And so, in those spaces, if you were depicting those spaces, if you were actually recording those spaces in real time, you would see us with each other laughing, walking through the um I wasn't for sure if that was a trans person, and I didn't like that it was blurred in the background. If it was, if the intention for me to read them as a trans person, I needed it to be explicit. I was kind of pissed off about that. I actually was kind of pissed off that there wasn't a vulgar explicitly shown. I would have loved, because I went back the second time to really examine that scene because that was one of my favorite scenes in this time and era. That's my only critique about the film. In this time and era, after all we've been through, after Renaissance, after after Pose, after Paris is Burning, after these past 30 years of people examining and exposing queer people's um contribution, black queer people's contribution to dance and music. We have had so many like things that have deep dive into that. For you to not put it in this film in 2025, it feels intentional. They had a ballet girl, They had a they even had that Asian thing, whatever that kind of Asian, whatever kind of do you see what I'm saying? Like for you to not show a Voguer in that, they had a breakdancer. Yeah, for you to not show a Voguer, it feels intentional. People, right? People twerking. It just feels intentional. It feels for you not to show a Voguer in that moment after all we have exposed and been through and talked about back in 2025, 20 whenever they recorded it, what maybe they started filming 2 years ago, 2023, 2024. Yeah, it's very for me that feels intentional. Now I watch it again to see if I missed something. Now the trans person in the back in the blurry red, I was kind of getting it where I was like, is that supposed to be a trans person? I don't know. Because it wasn't explicit. It was blurry. I wasn't for sure. I don't know what's going on. But what would have been explicit is if they would have had a Voguer. And that is what's missing on that scene. Maybe I didn't see them because so much was going on. It felt like a visual. It felt like a what is his name? Barnes. What's the artist? Something Barnes, the artist that did the Good Time art. Something Barnes. I went I literally went the second time because I loved it, but also because I wanted to really focus in on that scene for a second time to try to see if I missed it. And I for the second time I didn't see it. Who did the art for Good Times? I think his last name is Barnes.
The artwork, including the Sugar Shack, featured on the sitcom Good Times, was primarily created by the artist Ernie Barnes.
Ernie Barnes, yes. So what it reminds me of a visual a 2025 visual enactment of Ernie Barnes art. Like them playing this it literally looks like that. Like Ernie Barnes, they were doing a film enactment of the Sugar Shack. That's just what it is. And so for me, I would have wanted them. They were just doing a beautiful. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. I love it. I loved it. But that was the failure. That was the letdown. Because how do you not have a Vulgar in 2025 in that scene? If you're going back, if you're going back in time, if you're going back in time and if you're going back in time and you're showcasing these people and the point of this scene is to show you the hoodoo of this singer and the magic of this singer is that he's so good that he kind of crosses the boundaries of time. That's literally the whole point. And so you ain't got a fucking Vulgar in 2025. That just felt like intentional, and I don't like that. And I don't really be, I don't put too much faith in straight niggas. And so not putting the Vulgar pissed me off. So, and I watched it twice. Now, if that's supposed to be the trans person in the back, blurry in the red, excuse me, then that is half. And I looked even when they zoomed out and it was in and when it was on fire. And I even looked for a moment there, and I really couldn't see it. And so I'm thinking about that area of time. That era of time when queer people didn't have a hold on culture in the way that it did in regards to being safe and kind of navigating the world where we opposite of where we are now, where it was way worse, 70s, 80s, to be queer, but we were moving through the world. I can imagine them during that time still walking down the street laughing. There's a white film. What is that? I think it was produced by Ryan Murphy, which I thought it was beautiful. Um, I don't know what the name. It was based on a play, and it was basically these gay boys. This is during the time when they didn't really have clubs like that. Something about the boys. Yes, I think that's what it is. Something about the boys, Ryan Murphy.
Ryan Murphy
Boys
is a
in the
well-known
band.
producer who collaborated on the Netflix
Shut
adaptation
up.
of The Boys in the Band, a play by
The boys in the band. Yeah. Yes. This. The boys in the band. The boys in the band. So I actually really, really like that movie. But that's, of course that's white centered or whatever. It's some black characters in there, um but I think like that, like they were literally still gathering and building community with each other's behind closed doors, of course, but they were still finding joy and still finding moments to be with each other, have fun with each other, and navigating some of the navigating race, navigating gender, navigating tops and bottoms, ma- masculine and feminine, so many things while still doing the art that they love, doing enjoying music that they love. And I think that to me is the beauty of people, that we miss out in the present moment because we too busy, not too busy, and it's not frivolous, and I don't think it's not important, but we too busy teaching people about the past, sharing the past, and that we forget that there is joy, joy that we can create now, joy that is being created now, moments that are being created now that are important, just as important to our survival as the fight. And I think we got to see it more like that. Do y'all remember? I don't know. Like I guess what time do y'all remember a time in your life when some bullshit was going on, but the people around you were still kind of like trying to make shit happy? Do y'all ever have situations like that? Do y'all remember situations like that where people were still finding joy? I think about even now, like today in the present, people, shit is getting wore out. People making up line dances still. Yeah. I had posted a thing on my a status on my Facebook. Let me read it. You have to make joy an element in every single day. I agree. I think that should be a part of your life practice. I think just as important as, to some people, journaling is, just as important as some people for a schedule is. Now this could look different for different people. Some people is like, oh, I have to make a calendar with all the things I need to do, and I need to make a schedule every day. Some people are like that, some people are not. But I think having a joy practice is important, is just as important as shit like that. I think having a joy practice is just as important as having a skincare and hygiene regimen. I think having a joy practice is something that it just should be a priority, just like sleep. having a sleep practice needs to be a part of your life. It needs how you how do you turn down? Like when it's time for you to take your ass to sleep, do you just go in there and lay down? I'm not saying that that's bad. I'm just saying like what is your sleep practice like? Do you light a candle? Do you brush your teeth, wash your face, wash your tail, or um what is your like when you go to the hotel and you tell them, "Ooh, can you turn down turn down my room for the night?" and they pull your sheets back. Like, do you do that for yourself? Like, do you do things for yourself? I think that type of shit. I also make noise, laugh loud, do something rousing and exciting every day too. I enjoy being stirred up and the sense of thrill so much. Do I do something loud? I don't know if I would consider it loud, intentionally loud. I do laugh every day. Something make me laugh. um, can food be a joy practice? Absolutely, especially if it's I don't want to say especially if it's whatever it is. Food can definitely be a joy practice. I just would be mindful in making if you have a healthy relationship with food, I think it could be amazing joy practice. But I think if you don't have a healthy relationship with food, it can also be a gateway to harming yourself. So that joy practice can be, it's kind of like smoking weed or doing drugs. It can be a joy practice if it's in moderation, but then it can turn into addiction and destroy your life. I know some people who smoke weed and it's great, but then I know some people who are addicted to weed. It's not, it doesn't look good. Um, but I think food can be like that, where food can be a joy practice. I think people I think even if it's like cooking for people, I have to write every day. I think that's beautiful. I think that's a good joy practice. I actually love cooking for people. I rarely do it nowadays, but I actually love the act of cooking for people when I want to. I wouldn't want it to be a job. I don't want to ruin that. But because it is a joy practice, I actually like doing it. Um and I only do it when I want to do it. It's not like, oh, I'm doing it every day. Oh my God. No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't want to do that. But when I want to do it, I actually enjoy doing it. Um, I work on music every day. Like every day I record on something, on some type of music. Um, I work on music every day. What else? One of the things that I want to do, I want to get in the sun every day. Like I would love to get in the habit of just taking a walk every day for 30 minutes, like just taking a walk. That's really hard though for me. Not like, oh, I want to go running. No, just an actual dilly dally stroll. I'm strolling and dilly dallying down the street, no intention, just kind of just strolling. I would love to do that every day for 30 minutes. But sometimes I just don't be feeling like putting no clothes on and just doing it. But yeah, I wish I write every day. I wish I was that person. I put my AirPods in at night after showering and listen to cricket pond sound on YouTube at night. It gives me nostalgia. Before I know it, I'm half asleep. Oh, that's beautiful. I love that, Turner. Yes, I want to do the same. It's doable for me to walk every day, but sometimes work gets in the way. Yeah, I wish that there was this. I went and did a consultation for some plastic surgery that I want to do in the near future. And when I left the office, it was in a neighborhood in Houston that I never had been in. And I just was like, oh, I'm not gonna call my lift. I'm gonna explore this neighborhood because I had never been in the neighborhood. And the area is called the Heights in Houston, but it's a particular. I had been in the Heights before, but I hadn't been in this area of the Heights. And so I went and I went to this specialty crepe place that make you specialty crepes, and it was delicious. And then there was an ice cream shop called Cloud 10, and they had like some peppercorn vanilla ice cream. And I know that sounds gross, but it was delicious. um, Peppercorn French vanilla something. It was delicious. And then they had like this trail. And so I walked on the trail and I was like, oh my God, this feels, I wasn't really dressed for it, but I just felt like being in the sun. And I was walking and people were riding their bikes and walking. And it just was a beautiful trail. And it was going past these nice little houses and then these raggedy houses and then these fucking buildings that had been abandoned. And it just was beautiful. It just was a beautiful moment. I wish I lived by that trail because it would be I would go to it more often. But then somebody had put a mural on the somebody put a mural on the wall. See if I can. And it said this. It was so cute. It said love, gentleness. Can I see it? And it was just this big mural. It says love, gentleness, goodness, patience, joy, peace, self-control, kindness, and faithfulness. And it was so cute. And there was just tons of other stuff on there too. So I just liked it. It was really, really cute. I just had a good time. And so I would love to write more often. Just sitting down writing. My brain be going all over the place, but I would love to do that for 30 minutes. I would love to I don't be liking to cook like that, child. Mm-mm. It's not easy writing every day. Mostly I dump ideas, then organize them when I'm in the mood for it. Hmm. Let me go to the status that I wanted to share. Okay. So I said, I'm sitting here thinking about COINTELPRO. Do you know what COINTELPRO is? I'm sitting here thinking about COINTELPRO, the Tulsa massacre, and the Klan rising at various times, like the Ku Klux Klan rising at various times. Um, and I'm thinking about all the stuff, the historical stuff that I know about, um, these kind of moments, like Ku Klux Klan and different massacres. Nat Turner, Denmark VC, Gabriel Proctor, these kind of, and even Haiti, the one successful one, these kind of rebellions, and then these kind of like anti-black um, entities like um, COINTELPRO, just different stuff. Just different stuff that was happening in the world during the time. And I said, we are in a very different technological landscape when it comes to weapons and surveillance in this era compared to the last like racialized civil war or mass civil unrest. Like what inspired this thought was Sinners, the time period, and the last little scene. I don't want to ruin that. The last little scene, that kind of white man's fantasy that happens at the end. I mean, not white man's, black man's fantasy that happens at the end. I was thinking about that scene, and I was also thinking about Carmelo Anthony and the Metcalf boy um situation. I was just thinking about this and this how this kind of racialized civil unrest is bubbling. And I said we are in a very different technological landscape when it comes to weapons and surveillance in this era compared to the last racialized civil war and mass unrest. The potential sneak attacks kind of scare me. Part of me feels like a frog in a pot of boiling water, and the temperature is slowly rising, and I don't know to jump out because my body temperature is adjusting. So if you're not a biology girl, when a f- if you if the water is already boiling and the frog touches the water, he'll jump out of the water because it's hot. But because amphibians, frogs in this case, frogs, their body temperature adjusts to their surroundings, unlike ours, which stay that kind of. Is that an excerpt from a book you're reading? No, no, no. That's a status that I wrote. Um, and and so if you put a frog in water that's room temperature and slowly raise the temperature up, he won't know that he's being cooked because his body naturally is gonna adjust to the temperature of the water, and he don't know he needs to jump out. So that's what it feels like living in America now, because I'm sitting here thinking like, man, it's getting worse and worse and worse with what shit that they're trying. And like literally we had a it didn't get support, but we had a bill where somebody was criminalizing being trans, like here in Texas. Like they literally were criminalizing being trans. And imagine if that bill had got one more supporter, one more sponsor. They only needed one more to attach themselves to it and it go to the house. And they literally, what if they literally passed a law that said you being trans, just you existing as trans, is gender identity fraud? That's literally what they put on, were trying to put on the House bill. That's literally what they registered. They registered it. They tried it in March the 10th. So imagine if he could have one more bold person to sponsor that bill with him. The person who did it was Tom Oliverson here in Texas. But it didn't go anywhere because he needed one more. Imagine if he had one more and it passed. Just like this school voucher shit just passed here in Texas, where they are gonna literally be paying people, even rich people, tuitions to private schools with taxpayer money. Make that make sense. Um, that just passed. And so imagine if somebody was bold enough to co-sponsor that with him and it went up. What would trans people here do? What would trans people here do? Because literally that's how it can. You are a criminal just for existing. That's like, whoa. That's like, oh, they're really trying it. And so I'm thinking like, oh, I'll just go to this is my excuse to move out of the country. Oh, you can just move out of the country now. But where would you go? Because Trump's effect on global is that the conservative movement is growing And what they see working in the United States, they're trying it in other places, and it's growing. New Zealand just passed a law. New Zealand literally just passed a law defining women in a way that does not include trans people. Where would you go if you would move permanently? It's so many places. I don't have a particularly favorite place. But somewhere chill. I thought about New Zealand. Let me go to. And then they're doing shit that just goes too far.
The transgender student that Nancy Mace called a slur in a now viral video has since responded. University of South Carolina student Harley Hicks, who uses she/they pronouns, approached Representative Mace at an event on the university campus. Harley asked Mace to apologize for her previous use of a transgender slur during a government hearing in February 2025.
Does this advance the interests of American citizens paying for in Guatemala to the tune of $2 million?
I want my grief to apologize, but it's about it right now. Mace didn't apologize, though, and instead doubled down on her use of the slur.
Yeah.
Harley swiftly walks away from Mace, taking a potted plant with her that was placed on the edge of the stage. Mace's security can then be seen entering the frame. In the video's caption posted by Mace, she wrote, "My security thought this guy was going to throw this plant at me." Reported by the South Carolina Daily Gazette, Harley has since responded to this claim, saying, "I'm like a shark, more afraid of her than she is of me, and if I were attacking her, you'd have seen a very different video." Mace was speaking at an event hosted by the University of Carolina's chapter of Turning Point USA, a nonprofit that advocates for conservative viewpoints on high school and college campuses across.
Yeah, so they're trying it, but here in New Zealand, they just
Waking up this morning to see that Winston Peters is trying to pass a bill to remove my rights has been an absolute kick in the guts. He wants to legally define a woman as a biological woman and remove me from women's toilets and changing rooms. I've cried most of today. I feel very defeated. I feel very scared for my future. I totally saw this coming when Trump came in. I knew it would trickle down, and it has. And seeing what happened within a couple of days in the UK, to then Prime Minister doubling down last night, to waking up this morning and seeing fucking Winston the dickhead trying to pass this pathetic excuse of a bill. This does not protect women at all. It excludes them and it polices them and it puts them in a box. I'm a very optimistic person, but just feeling really scared. If this was to go through, it removes decades and decades of work that trans people have done and queer people have done and black women have done, and to get to this point, it's just, I'm just full of rage. So the only thing I feel I can do is talk about it.
It's really hard for me to watch white girls cry because part of me be like, it's something visceral about me. So many when white women white women weaponize their tears so much that it's hard for me to engage with their emotionality in a way that feels safe. I like to give them space to be emotional, but because in my life they have weaponized it so much, it's hard for me to look at it like with empathy. But that's just me, my own bias. Um, But yeah, I think that you see conservative viewpoints kind of blowing up, and the we went through 15 to, let's stretch it to 20. We went through 20 years of advancement. Let's start like 2020, not 2020, 2000, say the year 2000. We went through 20 years of advancement to get to us to 2020, where it was kind of like this peak. It felt like this peak of we get in June 8th, 2020, we get the protections, the workforce protections. The Supreme Court voted on that, and we get our workforce protections. Like that was like something that was we have been fighting for decades, decades, decades. And to be included in constitutionally in for to be protected in the 1964 um, Civil Rights Act. Is it 1968, 64? I can't remember. Anyway, whatever. 1960s Civil Rights Act. To see us officially included in that, and now we have protections at jobs. Not saying that this just make our life great, but that is a peak protection in our country that happens in 2020. And so it feels like from 2020 to 2025, there has been a downshift. So how long is that downshift going to happen, and how far is that downshift going to go? How far is that how far is that? And so it has me, like I said, like a frog in boiling water. It's like if I'm supposed, they literally shipping people to Venezuela or El Salvador, wherever they shipping people for no reason. Some people. So how long? When do you go? Like it? How? I've said this before. It's scary because it's scary because when the Holocaust was happening, the Jewish people said, "Hey, what we regret is thinking that it wasn't gonna get that bad." And so we didn't take action. By the time we figured that we were unsafe and needed to take action, it was too late. I don't want to be that. So, but they're putting you in a situation where same thing economically was happening with the Jews, because if you remember, they were like really affecting their businesses, Jewish businesses, telling people not to shop at Jewish places because they were demonizing Jewish people. And so economically, it puts you in a bind. And so if your money is going down, but the intensity of the threat is slowly, slowly going up, how do you respond to that? Is this just a little, is the moment going to get worse and worse and worse and worse, or is it going to kind of stagnate and then go back up? What does that look like? How do y'all feel about it? Like, do y'all feel like it's in dangerous times? Do y'all feel like it's going to, in 2016, I thought that it was like a fluke that happened with Trump and and we would clean it up because, oh, this was a horrible decision. I thought that it was going to be that. But it seems like that is not what's happening. It seems like it just is like we know we made this horrible decision, and then we barely beat him in 2020, and then he gets office again in 2024. like resuming student loans gags. Yes, they literally um they did something that made my credit score go down in a. I was like, my credit score was in the 800s. It done dropped down to the six something because I have 2 loans here and then 10 loans here, 12 in total. And these are up to date, but these ones, because they're not consolidated, they're trying to charge me for all of the loans at one time. And I'm like, what the fuck are y'all doing? So I got to call them and see what's going on. Because I don't mind paying y'all just the bare minimum enough to keep them out of default. But the majority is ruling now, overtly and subtly. It feels like a buildup of violence. And so that's what I was talking about. We are in a different level of technology and surveillance when it comes to weapons, different level of technology when it comes to weapons and surveillance. People can find you so much easier now. Um, so if they did, and I'm not even talking about the government, y'all. I'm talking about Klan folks, the new Nazis, the new terrorizers, the new terrorists, because it feels like, and we are algorithmically and socially in our bubbles. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, how many white boys do y'all come in contact with on a daily basis that could potentially be like, those kind of crazy ones? I don't. So I wouldn't even know. I wouldn't have any hint. Klan folks, the new terrorists, and the government are all one, overtly and subtly. I think that there are some, but I don't think everybody in the government is on that same level, on that same connection, on that same page. I don't think everybody in the government is that. Um, but those are the most dangerous ones, though. You feel what I'm saying? Um, so I think that there's a civility that puts people in the box. So you feel like black folks are maneuvering better this time? I don't feel like black people are the ones, the main focus in this era. Black people were the main focus um in past era, but I think the main focus now are trans and immigrants. It feels like the enemy number one to the state are trans and immigrants to me. Then black people, but it feels like I'm trying to find this video. And why I said this was because it looks so good. There is a there's a video of there is a dude who is like a white supremacist. I wish I could find it. God damn. Um He's like this white supremacist dude that he called the Metcalf dude's father. And he was trying to rile him up. I need to find this because this is really important to my point. Shut up. Damn. So anyway, I guess I can't find it. I thought I sent it. I must have sent it to. Did I send it to my I'll send it to myself. There is a please tell me that I sent it to myself. I didn't. No. Anyway, so y'all know the dude, the Metcalf dude that is the one that got so the black boy that killed Carmelo Anthony, the black boy that killed the white boy. A white supremacist like dude, clan member like dude. He called the dad of the boy who died and they were talking on speakerphone. Now he's trying to create content. So he's recording it and he's got a crowd around him. And he basically saying, "Are you ready for the race war? Like, yo, like your son just got murdered, and are you ready? We don't. You know what I'm saying? Are you ready to make something happen?" And the dad of the murdered child said, "Sir, I don't agree with anything that you're talking about, and I need you to not call me. And what you're trying to rile people up on some shit that don't got nothing to do with I'm grieving right now for my son, and you're trying to make this worse than what it is for me." And me hearing that shifted me in how I talk about that case because I was so ready to be really sucked into this racialized thing about it. But the fact that this man's son is dead and he's checking this white supremacist person, because it could be so tempting. You just lost your son. It can be so tempting to get sucked into these kind of racial dog whistles. And for him to check the dude and say, "You are making this is a horrible tragedy that my son has lost on both sides, and you are making this worse than what it is. You're making this worse." And that white supremacist said to him, "You are weak." This is what he said to the father who just lost his son. He said, "You are weak and you are making all of our white sons another Metcalf, like another person like your son, making them vulnerable. Somebody can just kill them." So he literally is trying to egg people on to a race war. And 5 years ago, I could think that it's crazy. Like, just that's the fringe. But right now, I don't think that once they did that January 6th stuff, I don't see them. I don't see them as. I still see them as lunatics, but I don't see them as just a fringe barking with no bite. Do you feel what I'm saying? I see them. I feel like they're planning a bite. Like I don't see them as just barking like I did 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Oh, these grand dragons and blah 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 blah. Blah. They're all bark, no bite. But I don't after January 6th changed shit for me. January 6th changed shit for me because it was like, oh, if they will storm the Capitol, if they will storm the Capitol, if they will go that far, that's so far out of decorum that I feel like they could do something else. Recently in 2018, they were sending bombs to people's houses. In Austin, Somebody was sending bombs. They found the person, but they were sending bombs to people's houses. And so when I talk about technology and people are getting doxxed all the damn time. You are easy to find. And so if you are anybody visible, it could put you in a situation where some crazy person on the other side could start doing things that are more covert, that are more clandestine and not bold and upfront on all that, like literally doing sneaky ass shit. Oh, this is a race war, so I'm gonna start um hanging me some folks or catching people. And it just feels like that we're in that space where this is not, they could be moving. They're already dumb. Like they're already moving people to support this foolishness. In Indianapolis recently, they literally was arguing about debating about consent, like taking consent out of sex education. Like it like literally like really, really crazy shit is happening.
Consent when you're dealing with young women.
Watch this real.
Places where they don't want to talk about consent when you're dealing with young women and their rights. Where are those places? In my state. You're insulting our state.
I have two concerns. The first one is eliminating consent. I don't understand how we could possibly not agree to consent, to teach that as part of human sexuality, which then again, to Senator Yoder's point, goes on to the child development side. I'll get to the video in a second. But for the consent, it protects both boy and girl, man and woman. We are talking about teenagers that sometimes don't learn that they can say no. So to me, this is just, we're protecting our youth. And so I need an explanation why you would take it out.
Well, again, the school board's local control on that issue. I don't disagree with what you're saying.
But we can also do it.
But we're going to allow it to local control. I really don't have time to go into much more debate.
Who did you consult with?
Nobody come to me. This is a decision that I made to not have it in there.
And so I'm confused, though, because your expertise is not in human sexuality instruction that I'm aware of. And so I'm wondering, did you consult with any experts about whether or not this is suitable to be removed, especially in a state where right now it's 1 in 5 or 1 in 4 of our teenage girls experiences sexual assault or sexual abuse or sexual harassment before they even leave high school. And so I'm just wondering what experts were consulted with.
Yeah, so I appreciate your concerns. Again, this is a sensitive subject for many. I believe it may be different thoughts in different communities, and this is what the bill does. It leaves, for the most part, local control on making those decisions.
Can you identify those localities where it's a problem to talk about consent? Because I'd like to know.
No,
and I think the people who live there would like to know whether the issue of consent is somehow debated among men and women in that district.
Yeah, well, I will say I will leave it, me personally, I want to see it left up to local control on that issue.
I mean, so there must be places where they don't want to talk about consent when you're dealing with young women and their rights. Where are those places? In my state. You're insulting our state. Places where they don't want to talk about consent when you're dealing with young.
So do you hear the conversation that they're having about debating why is this actually be a debate? Exactly. Like how the fuck are we talking about consent in this way? What the hell is going on? That is crazy to me. Like just the fact that we are having this kind of conversation about teenage girls. This is like some Handmaid shit. And at first, people were saying Handmaid's Tale as almost like a joke, but it feels like the beginning when you first watch Handmaid's Tale, where shit was shifting and they didn't know. They weren't taking it seriously until it was too late. I'm gonna get some popcorn. I'm hungry. Still. It's not corn. It's just a square. It's just textured. Just soft little textured pillows. Just a square. But I can see how it looks like corn. But why would I have corn? Let me see. Diamond Stylz, I'm actually gagging. They say you don't have to worry about blood and violence unless you lose. I feel like I'm serving fried frog legs. They're moving up the list. I reviewed some of my friends' food and it went viral to the point of 10 million, and people were coming up to me trying to pick fights. This world is crazy. I feel like it's on fire. Over food. I'm of the mindset that if they coming to get me, then it's no reason to leave them here as a witness. Fascists are the cancer cells of capitalism, patriarchy, and white supremacy. And capitalism is a tumor itself. Why would this actually be a debate? Facts. Those motherfuckers are pro-rape. Insanity. Pedo bullshit. Yeah, it's crazy to me. It's crazy. So, and these just feels like conversations that are like, this is crazy. All right. How did we get here?
Places where they don't.
It's like, how did we get to this place in the world to where we are debating, talking about consent? And then it feels like, and tell me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm in a bubble. But it feels like the black people are getting caught up in some of the dumbest conversations. I feel like this Houston DL list is going viral in a way that I feel like it shouldn't go viral, but everybody is fucking talking about it. But I live in Houston. Maybe y'all haven't noticed, but I have. I feel like this Shannon Sharpe shit is weird. It's like, dude, are you trying to prove to us that you straight? First, you accidentally released some audio of you fucking Michelle. now the little white 19-year-old white girl is suing you for $50 million. And you trying your best to prove that this is a shakedown. But you in your 50s, bro. Why the fuck are you? How is it even possible for a 19-year-old to shake you down? Why are you even in spaces with a 19-year-old? And then you niggas will fetishize young girls. Are you too dumb to you think they really like you? You think a 19-year-old really likes a 50-something-year-old man? What level of egotistical delusion do you need to be on to think that a white girl, the young white girls have went viral telling black men that it is not a good look for them to attract black men in their culture? They literally, this girl, she was married to, I think that was her, I think they were boyfriend and girlfriend. And they were in a car, and the white girl was telling this black boy, her boyfriend, that in her social circles, it wasn't seen as prestigious for a black boy to want you in their circles. The black boy, she's explaining it deeply to this black boy, and the black boy says, "Oh, I disagree." How you gonna disagree about her circle of people? You're not even in the club. You wouldn't even know. And you think because they fetishize your penis, doesn't make them look good for having you. It's actually a notch down to their circle. And so, yo rich, old, 50-something-year-old self think a 19-year-old young girl wants you. And don't get me on the disgusting race play shit. Y'all just be letting these white girls call y'all all kind of N-words and put that big black baby in me and what? Y'all are just fucking. Dominique Morgan said recently, y'all are the bed wenches of the community. And I think that is totally true. Y'all are the bed wenches. But instead of it being black women, the bed wenches of the white man, y'all are the bed wenches of You should be ashamed. And if you're not, cool. But I'm not about to give you no sympathy, no empathy when they get you together. When they throw your black ass under the bus, I'm supposed to be like, oh, they're attacking a black man. No. All these white girl, black boy influencer couples that end in the white girl killing or stabbing or shooting them. How many times we done seen that? They are on the internet being couples in love, white girl, black boy. And then a black boy done had tweets and videos talking down on black girls because he done got his prize girlfriend. And then they kill him. Either his parents kill him or the wife kill him. Not his parents, her parents kill him, or the girlfriend kill him. Like, and don't let me get on. This is why black men annoy me. Cishet black man. Because people in their community, we don't let them slide. We don't let them slide because we see you for your works. Like Jonathan Majors. You on this campaign with no accountability. You haven't taken accountability for your abuse at all. The abuse that happened is not in question. Do you see what I'm saying? It's not like, oh, we found out that you didn't abuse. We actually found out that you were abusing that white girl. Just because you didn't get in charge or you got charged lightly, that doesn't mean the audio came out, the text messages came out. We know that you abused her, but you're admitting it, that it happened. We know that you abused her. So the problem with the situation is that you were an abuser. And anybody who is making it seem like because it's a white girl, we're supposed to give you a pass, I think you're tired and late. He's an abuser. White girl or not. And now you're on this campaign this redemption campaign without any kind of accountability. I hate it. Anybody know me? No, I loved Jonathan Majors. That is my type down. I was a fan. I was a fan of his acting, fan of his fine ass. I was so just a fan. But this whole charade, so disappointed in Megan. Girl, you are weird. You're a fucking weirdo. Because if that wasn't happening, he still would have been dating a white girl. And you come in to save the day. Captain Save a nigga. While he's in the process, while he got caught beating his girlfriend. You are a fucking weirdo. And that lack of accountability to spin it back to sinners. The temptation to be bottom of the barrel, black people. Evil bottom of the barrel, black people. Just to be performative. What the vampires represent in the show. I feel like people like Jason Lee, you giving this nigga an award, this performative award, Like, it's like, what of all the actors, this nigga just started getting popping. We just met Jonathan Majors. Because that's what the vampires was tempting them to come. Don't worry about that shit y'all doing. I don't feel like OJ. I feel like Carmelo Anthony is OJ. I think this is about to be an OJ situation. You know how we were invested in the outcome of OJ? There's about to be a reckoning with this Carmelo Anthony thing. Yeah. My one of my favorite YouTubers, straight male YouTubers, FD Signifier, he did a video about how people were talking about the black boys not going to college. And one of the points that he was making was every election, people act like black men are going to vote for Trump or vote conservative. And then they don't. But the gag, y'all, for me is in Texas, they went from 15% going right to 34%. That's a big, unusual jump. That's in that non-black minority level of voting for conservative. We used to them being like that, but black men being almost 60%, 34%. Black men are usually nationally between 85 and 80% to the left. But in Texas, black men were almost 60. 34? What's that? 65? That's abnormal. That is a big deal and a big shift. So, nationally, it's the same. But in certain pockets of the world, of the states, these niggas are out of their mind. They going out of their mind. Yummy. So, yeah, I think it's crazy. Make sure you got thumbs up if you're watching. What do y'all think? Let me see. Somebody asked something. What are your thoughts on Kanye? My thoughts on Kanye has nothing to lose, and so he is oversharing. I think people were being stupid, misreading what he said about his cousin. I read it as this is a same-sex situation. I mean, not the same age situation. I didn't read it as a pedophile situation. He's telling you that he was giving his cousin some head till he was 14. I read it as a same age situation. But people were adding like he was grown. Like he said, literally said he was sucking his cousin's dick until he was 16, until he was 14. Did y'all see that? Do I need to read it? I really don't want to read it. But I just feel like he don't have anything to lose, so he's just oversharing. No. Oversharing and yeah, I think it's crazy. Why would he share that? I think he's free. And so he's just talking about it. I think it's attention seeking. I think it's hard for me to say it's attention seeking. I just can't see somebody who has paparazzi following them everywhere just because of who they are as attention seeking. I'm not saying that. I just feel like it's more than that because he gets the attention. Like he's Kanye West. He can walk out in a different. He don't need to tell you he's sucking cocks to get attention. He can walk out in dress funny and get attention. I think niggas are getting more and more conservative as misguided attempt at survival, and it's sad, and they should be held accountable for thinking conservative beliefs was going to save them. I don't like how low-key homophobic people are from the story, given that he wore a Klan hoodie on academic show mix. Yeah. He can do that to get attention. He ain't got to. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, he can do all of that. He knows how to get attention if he want to get attention. But talking about you sucking dick when you're 14, he don't have to do that for attention. So the question is, I don't think it's just attention. I think he's becoming more and more free, nothing to lose. He done lost his wife. He done lost his wife. So he back single, going through a divorce. No. This is him tweeting. It's not it wasn't an interview. It was a tweet. He was sharing he did a song about his cousin and how they used to experiment and mess around. I don't think that's uncommon. Yeah, I don't think that that's uncommon, Kelly. Research has shown that homosexual experimentation with the same sex, I don't think that that's uncommon. Boys or girls. What's going on in Houston with the trans going on the side outing all the DL trade? Child, I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but I just was gagged that the straight people have been talking about it so much. This ain't the first time some shit like this done happened, but for some reason, this particular story has kind of blown up in the straight community. This ain't the first time some shit happened like this. But she just went through her stuff and scrolled. I don't know. It feels weird. I think he's smart, so I know how to he knows how to garner attention. It will sound like normal trauma. I want to know, what is he getting out of it? Like what is coming? Like, and if it's just he don't, yeah, it can't just be, oh, I'm trying to get attention to my music. It can't just be that. He lost his second wife. Yes, she filed for divorce, for what I'm to understand. Yeah, I don't know. It just feels like crazy ass fucking times. Like, child, what is happening? Let me see if I can. And it seems like so much shit is going on. So he's on his rant right now. Like this, he literally posted this 3 minutes ago. Nigga bagged a bitch by saying niggas will bag a bitch by saying they got money. Then the girls uses that money, and then the nigga says she used me for my money, which is totally true. It's so funny when they be trying to say get mad at people using you for your money when you all you do is flaunt your money. Anyway. He says in response to somebody, I'm not crazy. I mean, maybe a little, but I mean, I'm crazy enough to say out loud things people may feel but don't want to say. But I can say it because, he can say it. He rich. Now he talking shit about Tyler, the Creator. I really can't even find it no more. I don't know if he's deleted it or what. Yeah, I guess he has deleted it. He's still talking about it, but I guess he's deleted it. But he, whatever that. Or I'm just haven't gone far enough. But he's anyway, not Miss Shay Shay. Oh, here we go. This song is called Cousins, about my cousins that's locked in jail for life for killing a pregnant lady a few years after I told him we wouldn't look at dirty magazines together anymore. Perhaps in my self-centeredness, I felt it was my fault that I showed him those dirty magazines when he was 6, and then we acted out what we saw. My dad had Playboy magazines, but the magazines found in the top of my mom's closet were different. My name is G, and I sucked my cousin's cock till I was 14.
That. Now, this is so much information to unpack. So apparently, we don't know how old he was. Did he say? He said he only talks about the boy's age when it started. The boy was 6. And he says he continued the act until he was 14, which would be 8 years. No, not 8. Oh my God, he wasn't 6. We don't know how old he was. Do we know?
He hasn't said the age, so you don't know what it is.
Now, apparently the song gives more context. I'm going to try to play it. It might be already copywritten, though. Let's try.
Well, I ain't going to play it because they're going to wear my copyrights out. No, thank you. And then he goes on a rant about his kids. He said at 10. So he was 10 and the boy was 6. So they were 4 years apart. And so they were sucking each other's cock, or he was sucking his cock till he was 14. So how old was the boy when he was 14? So if he was 6, that's 4 years. So that's 10. So he was sucking it till he was 10. Listen, I don't know what's going on with Kanye. I find it to be kind of weirdo on so many levels. It's just too much to me. Yeah, all of my my experiment years was all of us was the same age. I think I had a little bit of experience with a boy older, but that's in my book, so I haven't shared that story yet. Um, he was like 15 when I was 9. And so I remember that situation. I had my cousin, when I was like 9, she was 12. I remember her situation. There was a couple of situations that was like they weren't grown, but it was an age gap. The lack of regard that he has for his kids. I mean, but he never had it though. Like look at um how he talks about Kim, stuff that he says publicly about Kim when it's clear that Kim is holding back, like she's trying to keep it cute and he's not keeping it cute at all. He doesn't have any regards to his children in regards to protecting them publicly. That never was him. Like you can see Kim like holding back, not wanting to say everything. Or just simply trying to keep it cute. He says, why is a celebrity world, Jay-Z, Beyonce, Kendrick, Rihanna, Rocky included, Trump and Elon, why are you all watching and letting Kim take my kids from me in real time? He want all the celebrities to come save him from himself. Why are y'all watching and letting Kim take my kids from me in real time? Y'all want to say I'm acting out because of things in my childhood, but I don't get to be a dad. As celebrities, we are family in a way. We are all in the same boat. It cuts me to my core that my kids are being indoctrinated to serve ideals to black people, and all these fucking celebrities just get the popcorn. You guys can make a difference. I'm fucking shaking typing this. I've had my rights stripped because I wore a fucking red hat. That's when I had a breakdown and was put in the hospital. And then somebody commented, yesterday, I used to suck my cousin dick growing up. Today, why are they taking my kids away? And then they use this meme. And then somebody says, man, shut the fuck up and take responsibility for your life. I never seen such a pathetic millionaire. And then somebody says, I'm not sure if it was the red hat or if it was maybe, just maybe, constantly comparing yourself to Hitler. And then somebody else joins in and says, your tweets and actions give Kim's family law attorney all the exhibits they need to argue that you are unstable and parenting time with you is against the best interest of the children. Stop playing the victim and be more responsible. It's simple. Somebody else said, bro, look at your entire actions over the last year. You are not helping yourself. And then here come this dick rider. Ye might just be too sane for a world of insane people. And then somebody says, you told everyone who would listen that you're a Nazi and then went out and told the world you were sucking off your own cousin. Get yourself some help because you have no business being around your kids right now. this is a shakedown, crash out. A shakedown, crash out. I don't understand, child. I don't understand. Mm-mm. When he randomly moved to Wyoming and she randomly followed his ass. Girl, I didn't understand. But that actually is what changed my mind. Well, I knew Kanye was a coon. Like, I talked about this, but there was I don't know if it was Tyra Banks or Katie Couric. Was it? It was somebody. Somebody had a show that they did a sit down interview with. It was like a talk show when they first got together. When they first got married, it was him, Kim, and Chris. And they brought him and Kim out first, and then Chris. And it was like a special, like it was an event. And his vernacular had changed into that kind of that coon vernacular, that kind of I want to be white adjacent vernacular. And I hate when people always say, oh, me speaking English properly. It's some shit today. That when you say they act white or try to be white just for how they talk, it ain't just for how you talk. It's a vernacular. There's tons of black people who speak proper English that you can tell the difference between them and motherfuckers who want to be white. This might be problematic because people like her, I don't. Francesca Ramsey, clear. Can't nobody convince me that she not one of them coons. And maybe not on every level, but I've gotten in situations with her where I'm like, this is a coon. This I don't care what she know how to talk the talk when it comes to certain situations, but that's a coon right there. And people that talk like her, people that it's you can just tell the difference. It's a different vernacular. It is a it's just a way that they talk. And when he did that interview, he had switched from however he was talking normally. And then in that interview, I could hear him turning it on. I could hear him code switching. And I was like, oh, he really done turned into something to be with this girl. Interesting. I knew that moment. I was like, oh, he done sold out. Something has clicked in him. He went from whoever he was in hip hop, whoever that person was that was saying Bush don't like black people, don't care about black people. That person had died when he cooked up with her. That person gone. If it was ever even there. And he just wasn't, and he just was performing for the moment to say something shocking. But definitely when I seen that interview, I was like, oh, this is a coon. This is a coon. This is a coon. That what does Umar say? That coon chip activated. That coon chip. I love this shirt. This shirt makes my tits look big. So anyway, what's going on with y'all, honey? What is y'all tea? I had a pretty good week. I'm ready to relax for the weekend. I'm ready to see what's going on The Last of Us. They done killed my nigga. I was so gagged this weekend. Handmaid's Tale. I'm like, oh my God, y'all are about to make me. I am so like, oh, getting my anxiety up. They done killed another one of the people. Yes, I was like, y'all done killed him. What? Oh my God, what? As if I hadn't played the game. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe y'all killed Joel. But ooh. But it was a good episode. That first episode was boring. Hey Moni, that first episode was boring to me, but that second one, I was like, oh, y'all done brought it back. Oh God, so excited about that. I said yes. They said, oh, we gonna ease y'all in just to set the tone on the first episode, but then on the second episode, we about to wear y'all out. Y'all done killed Joel. I watched Sinners. Good. I'm glad you watched it. I loved it. I went again tonight. I went to see it for the second time tonight. I loved it. Oh. Yes. Have y'all watched do y'all watch anime and shit? Are you to come out Texas? I don't know what that sentence means. The Hoodoo references were spot on center. Uh-huh. I love this new Comcast creation, the devil something. I don't know. On Netflix, the Devil May Cry. I really love that little show. It was cute. Have y'all, you know what I fucking love? I love when something that went on in my childhood, open Netflix. Something that went on in my childhood.
It enabled my family to
Oh, I
find
love
out
me. Devil May Cry. That's what it's called.
the kind of person you just
Are you ready to leave Texas? Am I ready to leave Texas? No. Do I want to leave Texas? No. But if something happens that lights my fire to leave Texas, I am poor, y'all. I am not rich. I can't really just afford to get up and move somewhere. I don't have any I'm poor. Like I got about $20,000 to my name and I don't know. Because I work based on the income that I create. I don't go to work every, like, I don't, it's not like other people where I go to work and make my money every month. That's not really how it works for me. I have to make my money. And so if I don't make no money, that $20,000 has to last me till whenever it lasts me. And I don't know if you know, but $20,000 don't last real long. That don't last real long over time. So I have to make money in the process. So just moving somewhere, spending the money to just move, that's a big risk for me because then once you move, like say, okay, I want to move to and I would have to leave all of my shit because that's to move shit to somewhere that's like $25,000. I don't even have enough to do that. So now I move somewhere. How am I going to take care of myself? And am I going to make money when I get there? It's just so much. Say that I move somewhere super, super cheap. Like another thing is if I move, I want to move out of the country. I don't want to move to another place because other places that are trans friendly are also capitalistic as hell and not pocket friendly. You move to California, they got all the stuff that they get, but fucking they rent is $3,000 for an average bullshit apartment. So it's always the give and take of I'll be homeless if I move there because honey, I can't afford that rent. Now if I move out the country, now you can move somewhere that I can live good off of that 20,000 for a couple of years actually. Now it would be slim pickings, like it wouldn't be super super luxurious. Like I can go to Vietnam and live off of 20,000. I can go to Cambodia and live off of 20,000. Cute. My homeboy lives in Cambodia and his rent is $250 in a nice condo. $250 a month in a nice condo. I'm here in a box for $1,600. Yeah, I know my friend lives in Cambodia and his rent cheap as fuck. $250, y'all. That's cheaper than my very first apartment. My very first apartment when I was in my teens was $315 a month. That nigga is paying $250 a month in Cambodia. Now, the blessing for him is his wife is Cambodian. So she's able to talk to people, blah, blah, blah. But he lives there now. Now I know him, so he helped me, but not help me like financially, but help me get my bearings. 250 in 2005, yeah, 25. Yeah, that's so you can go to places where it's super super inexpensive, but then but then I'm going to be far away, and how long is the money that I have saved up gonna last me in that location if my money making abilities are in the United States? You feel me? If I get a speaking engagement, it ain't gonna be in Cambodia or Vietnam, or it's gonna be. Now I don't know what's gonna happen when I get there, but doubt it. But then I would have to spend money to fly back to do this event, and people are divesting from trans shit, so it's not like tons of opportunities is coming up. You see what I'm saying? It's just the money is getting slimmer, 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 and yeah, it's just hard to make the decision to move somewhere on limited coins. But let me see. But you know, if I don't make any more money, let's see. Let's do the calculations. Let's do the calculations. I have enough to survive for 10 months. Like if I make no more money. If I just based on the money that I have in my account right now, I get to go to 10 more months. So May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, February. December, January, February. So I have to go to February. So I would, if I don't make no more money, I would be broke. I would be broke till I'll be homeless February. Now, of course, you know, I'm a try to make shit shake and promote myself and blah 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 blah. Sex work in Cambodia might be very profitable for a black trans woman. Another element of me is I'm old girl. I am not trying to be no sex worker at fucking 45. I'm 44 now, so that's gonna be a year from now. So that's February is my birthday. So me being a sex worker in my 40s, bitch, kill me. Go ahead, let me get up out of here. It's time for me to go. Me being a sex worker in my 40s, I can't. I don't have the patience. I don't have the mind for it anymore. I just don't. I just don't have the I don't have what you need for it anymore. I just don't. My last draw, I probably would I would probably pitch to my brother for me to live with my brother and me help them with their kids, because me helping be in there in the house with their kids will save them on childcare. At least that can be something. If I had no money and I had nowhere to go, I probably would just stay with my brother and then help them with the kids, because I would be saving the money tell them as my payment to help with the bills. Let me help with the kids because I can stay home and they don't have to go to childcare, and that saves them tons of money because childcare is expensive and they have 2 kids. that would be my last ditch effort. Like if I just got poor and nowhere to go, nowhere to stay, that would be my last staying with my brother. They've already offered. They already have offered, but I'm not somebody who I don't like staying with people, y'all. So, but that would be my last. I wouldn't be no fucking yeah, I wouldn't. I couldn't. I definitely can't be on. I can't be no sex worker. Not as a like full time. This is my hustle sex worker. You know, turning a trick every now and then is fun, but full time, put ads up, worrying about the police and all that shit, child. No, I can't. Taking calls all hours of the night. Oh, mm-mm. Mm-mm. I can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do it. That's how it felt, pure hell. That's how what felt. Mm. But yeah, who else? And then I was thinking, like, if say that you're trying to get asylum to another country, like how what's the circumstances? Like what like what is like what's the how bad does it have to be before I can go to another country? Like, oh, I'm seeking asylum. Do they have to be hanging people? Or they just have to be criminalizing people? Like, oh, I don't know. And then my white homegirl, she has a trans child. She randomly sit in my inbox today and was like, if you need somewhere to run to, you can come to our house. Just for somebody to randomly send you that type of message, that means it's getting scary to people. It ain't just your brain saying danger, 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 danger. For somebody who that loves me as a community member, but we're not super, super close. For somebody like that to really slide in my now she's invested in the trans story. We know each other. We're activists, but she has a trans child that we have seen grow up. But we're not particularly super, super close. But for her to slide in my DMs with that kind of message, it's like, ooh, that goes back to the frog in boiling water. Am I waiting? What am I waiting for? Like, am I waiting? Am I making myself vulnerable? I don't know about waiting, or should I be making a move? Should I be thinking about moving somewhere? Should I be? Because even my brother, a couple of months ago, my brother called me and was like, I talked to my wife. If something go down, you can come stay with us, right? I was like, what are you talking about? He was like, nah, it's getting crazy out here for y'all. And you ain't got nobody. And it got me emotional because I hadn't thought about it in the context in which he was saying it. I hadn't thought about it in the context that he was processing my experience in his brain, because both of my parents are basically dead. My dad, I haven't talked to him since I was fucking in person since I was 11. So he's basically dead. My mom is dead. So I don't really have anybody that's like, my grandma's dead. Like, I don't have anybody that's like my elder that's in my corner that like could be a support system. And he basically said, he was like, you don't got anybody. Like, I'm your only person. Like, as far as blood relatives. And he was like, so if shit got real ugly and you had to run away or get out of Texas or you can come here, right? And I hadn't really thought about it like that because he still has his dad. They talk and engage with each other. My other little brother still has his dad. They talk and engage with each other. They're close. And I am literally out here by myself. And so you don't have any aunts. No, I'm not that I'm close to. I have I have my Aunt Georgia, but I'm not close to her at all. We're not close. I don't even know what that is. Blepharospasm? Blepharospasm. I don't even know what that is, child. But no, I'm never, but that's how my life has always been. That's why my brother had to come live with me when I was 21 because we didn't have like a family safety net. We didn't have that. My mother technically was an only child. Now I have people on the peripheral that are, you know, aunties, uncles, but I'm not close to them at all. What kind of my life is, my mother's branch of the family was the black sheep branch of the family because my grandmother was my great grandmother was schizophrenic, and she went to prison because she had a scandal in the 70s for killing a 6-year-old because she was a hoodoo woman. And so it was this whole accidentally killing them. It wasn't malicious and intentional. But she went to prison for killing a 6-year-old. And so this is before I'm born. I was born in 81. So my branch of the family was already the black sheep of the family because of my great grandmother. So her 2 daughters were raised alone with no support from the family because of what their mother did. And so that trauma, so you know what I'm saying? Like my family was already the black sheep. And then here I come being a trans woman. So I never was, people never was in my corner like that. But it just was, I didn't think about it because I always have been pretty resourceful. Like, remember, I've been on my own since I was 16. So, I don't mind working, I don't mind hoeing. So I always knew how to make shit happen. I always knew how to make shit happen. So I haven't been in situations. I have some downtime usually around March, this is literally on brand. Like literally, like if I don't make any more money and I have to and some shit go awry in the next 10 months, it will be on brand because usually around like March is when like money for me is like super tight. Super tight. This year I had a little bit of extra money. That's why I was able to I'm the type of person that I'm real churchy in the way that I walk by faith and not by sight. Kinda. So I spent my last little money to go to Ireland. And I paid my rent for March, but for my birthday, bitch, I'm going to Ireland because it's my birthday. I'll figure it out. If I gotta go on Club Creek and Woodfair and sell some sex, I'm doing something for my birthday. I'll figure it out. And that's what happened. I didn't have my rent for April. I didn't have my rent for April, but I went on my damn trip. But in April, I had a speaking engagement. I had this. I have, you know, I've had things happen, and so, I done got out of the hole, and now I'm good. And so I've always been like that. A billion states of being. What you mean by that, Magic? Can you talk a little bit more about your grandmother? What would you like to know? What about her? Have people send me this same offering? That shit is getting real. Yeah, it's getting kind of scary. I'm the same way. Yeah, I just kind of go, but I'm not, yeah. There be times when I'm like, oh, bitch, I'm broke. And then there's times when I'm like, ooh, I'm in the money. I'm in the money. Never like a lot. I think not this March that just passed, but the March before that, I had like 70,000. But when I got that, I I was so in the hole that I had to get myself out of the hole. The spiritual side of her. She was a conjure woman, hoodoo, Ifa. She had when she was younger, she met this redhead lady. That's the legend has it. This redhead lady, named Miss Noel, in Mississippi when she was young, and my grandmother had always been kind of weird, like they would, and that my great grandmother. And this is somebody else telling me this story. My experience of my great grandmother is totally different than what they're talking about because it's her sister and her sisters and other family members who knew her. My great granddad, just different people. The image that they gave the image that they tell about my grandmother, and these is multiple people that are not really connected, just multiple people. But what I gather, my grandmother was the type of woman who was just naturally witchy, like very, she had schizophrenia. So everybody was kind of weird. She said everybody said she was kind of weird. She'll be normal for a little bit and then be weird. Like her youngest sister, she's like older. So she's like the oldest of the 10 or they're 12. How many Mama Eula had? How many kids? I don't know how many kids she had. I think she had like 10 kids. And she's the oldest of the 10 kids. And her youngest daughter, the youngest of the clan, my Aunt Joe, she's the one that I have the most interaction with. She's like 81 now. But when she was younger, she was telling me that my grandmother would hide under the table just to be not hide like in fear, but to not have to be social with people. She would be under the table just kind of playing with herself. Like she was that kind of like just a weird child. And that's how they described her. She just was a weird child, but she was pretty. And so as she got older, she met my granddad. My granddad married her. They had their two daughters, my grandmother and my Aunt Roz. But she was always weird. And then when she got older, before she met my grandma, before she had my grandma, she met Noel. And Noel was like the person who introduced her to like the hoodoo conjurer side of life. And so she yeah, that's the way everybody described it. So she got into it like that. My grandfather started to be a drunkard. And he started to abuse her. And so in order to be safe, she packed up her kids and moved to Indianapolis, and that from Mississippi to Walnut Grove, Mississippi to Indianapolis. So my grandmother runs away to Indianapolis, away from my grandfather, away from my great grandfather, because he was drunk and abusive. So when she comes up to Indianapolis, she becomes like the neighborhood conjurer, hoodoo. She do herbs, she do medicine, she do shit like that. So she always knew how to tend a garden. She got that green thumb, so she grows all kinds of shit. And so she was that kind of woman that when you're tired of going to church and praying and you need a little bit more something else, she's the woman that you sneak and go to. But you don't tell people because she's known as the witch and the witchcraft and the hoodoo and da 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 da. So she kind of had this kind of like, she always had this lone, she had this lone, this lone wolf kind of image when I was growing up. So by the time by the time I am born, she is, let me see, she was born in the, I think she was born in 32. Yeah. So by the time I was born, she was headed into her 50s. My great grandmother. No, not my my great grandmother. Because my grandmother was born in 48. So she was born in 32. She had my grandmother in 48. Because they was having kids in they was having kids early. So she was, yeah, she was 16 when she had my grandmother. But she had her sister 2 years before. So she was 14 when she got with my dad, with my great grandfather. So when I was born in 81, she was 49, but by the time I get to like engage with her, I'm like 5, 6. And so she's well into her 50s. And so my mother warned me because my mother was raised by her, abused by her. My mother, of course, start letting me. Once she got older, she just got more calmed down, and I used to go over her house. Like my mother wouldn't let me spend the night over there, but she would let me go over there, and so and that she lived up the street, so we lived on 16th in Central, and she lived like on 21st. So that many blocks. So about 5. Yeah, so about 5 blocks away. So I was able to walk to her house. And sometimes I would sneak over there because she was right by the penny candy store. There's this lady who was like the candy lady, and she turned her whole she turned her whole porch into like a store. And so we go in there and buy stuff, and she lived right by my grandmother. And I would go sneak to my grandmother's house, even though my mom would be like, I don't want you over there by yourself. Because she know how she grew up. But she was an artist. My great grandmother was an artist. She made, I wish that she didn't die when I was going through troubles with my mom and brother, because I would have went to her house and got one of her artwork. I would have loved to have one of her paintings. I would have loved to have one because they were so beautiful. She used to do these like, it's about as big as like this, from this hand to this hand. So it's about this big. And she would do these paintings that if you look at it from far away, it's just a bunch of colors. It looks just like a bunch of colors, but when you zoom in on it, it's like little villages and little people and people doing things. So like it'd be a whole town that she done drew that's the size of like your like these three fingers on a big painting like this. So she'll have a little town and then the road, and it'll be like it's so small, but you have to be up on it to see what's happening in the town. Like it could be like a little circus, it could be like a little sawmill town, and then all but from far away, you can't tell what it is because it just looks like a bunch of colors, but up close it looks you can make out what it is. It is so beautiful. I wish I was able um to I wish I was in a place where I could have had them. I would love to have it in my house. um but that was cool to me when I was, when I was 5, 6 years old. It was cool that she was an artist in that way because I loved coloring and art and clay and da 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 da. And so when I come to her house, she was doing a lot of the art stuff that she was doing. um and she was a good cook. And then she has all this cool stuff. Now that I'm older, I know it was conjuring stuff. Altars. She had altars, and she had made some of her altar things out of pot and clay that she had molded herself, and it looked like her Ogun. Like she made her own this. So Ogun has she sound like a water sign woman. Was she a water sign? Oh, let me see what my Aunt Earlene was. This is the good thing about Ancestry. They keep all of your stuff. Log in. Sure. It's having me put my code in. Let me see what it gives. Put my code in. Let me see. I don't even remember her birthday. Oh, wait, what is that? Oh, not 0. All right, let me see. Let me see what sign was Granny Early. I'll go to my family tree. Go to my family tree on my mother's side. No, she was she was a Virgo baby. She was a Virgo child. 1932, September 1st. She was a Virgo baby, honey. Virgo. No, she was a Virgo. Virgo. She was a Virgo. Her daughter was an Aries. Her daughter was a Sagittarius, and then my mom was Sagittarius, and then I'm a Pisces. I'm the water sign. But yeah, she had altars. She had her anybody who know Ifa, when you have a when you get your warriors, which is gonna be Shango, Eshu, and Ogun. Ogun, you got your machete, you got an actual pot, like an iron pot, usually like a cauldron. It looked kind of like a cauldron. She had that. Now I know what it is now, but when I was a kid, I didn't know anything about it. So it looked like I don't know what I thought it was, but her house was always clean and it looked like it you know what it reminded me of when I was a kid? It reminded me of when I would go to the children's museum. And like when I would go to museums when I was a kid, they would have like they would have the like the mask and them pottery, just art shit. It reminded me of a museum. So her house in the inside looked like it was a museum in a house. But now that I'm older and do that kind of spirit and have a more traditional spirituality, I'm like, oh, that was an altar. Oh, that was where she did her ancestor veneration. Oh, that was a Egungun staff. It's just different things that she had that I'm like, oh, I know what this stuff is now that I can recollect and be like, oh, this is what she had. So um I'm a Pisces moon. Pisces are constantly torn, dreamy souls, not interested in following typical control systems or programs. Are you the only spiritual person in your family? On this side of like spirituality, I have like Christian people, spiritual Christians. Um, mm, my brother plays around. Like my brother's the type that when he in trouble, he gonna do something. He gonna he gonna do a ritual or something. But he got that from me. Um, he gonna do something warlocky. um, I have an aunt. She's not blood relative to me. She's not a blood relative. She's my cousin's. My mother's brother. She's technically his cousin, but they were raised in my great grandmother's house. My mother brothers married my aunt Tanya, and my aunt Tanya had his children. So that I'm not kin to her by blood. I'm kin to her by them having children. Um, so like it would be like marriage, even though they didn't get married, but it would be like marriage. And so she's actually the person who introduced me to Ifa. When we stayed with her, when my grandmother kicked us out when I first got custody of my brother. Um, and then that's when I met my Ia through her. I met my Ia through her, and then that's when it kind of opened me up to the world. Like it opened me. I had already met people throughout my life because there was tons of people who was practicing this, but I just didn't know. Like it was like when I was 13 and I met Deborah from the Asante Children's Theater. When she got me in, I went to her house and she had altars and shit. She was one of the first women who I knew who had dreads and just kind of like this kind of Pan-African kind of woman where it was like, oh, this is a different type of woman. This ain't just my normal Christian church ladies. This is something is different about her. And she also is not Muslim. I knew in my younger years, it was only two. It was Christian and Muslims. Oh, and Jehovah Witness. So three: Christian, Muslim, and Jehovah Witness. But I kind of put Jehovah Witness and Christian together because it was like, oh, y'all just read the Bible. Y'all read the same Bible, but Muslims, they practice, you know what I'm saying? They read a different book. So it was the Quran. And, they act different. They were covering, they did something different. Whereas Jehovah Witness and Kojic, while they do different, they the same fucking thing. They reading the Bible and quoting scripture, same that shit. But when I met Deborah and Rita was Muslim, but she was kind of witchy too. All the Muslim girls was kind of witchy, but there was a pro blackness to it. Do you see the parallels between you and your great grand? Nothing on a deep level. We artsy, not personality wise, but us being. If she, now that I know she's a Virgo, we're opposites on the wheel of astrology. It's Pisces, and the opposite end is Virgo. And we didn't seem anything alike, but we do have some things in common. We definitely are artsy. We creatives in that way. Um, but that's we're the most witchy. When I'm looking at everybody now, we're the most like hoodoo practitioners, like practicing it, like it's our main religion. Yes, opposites share energy. Yeah, it balances out. And we got along. That's another thing about my great grandma. We got along really, really well. I got along with her better than I got along with my grandmother. We got along. I loved going over her house. My mama didn't trust her because she was abusive when she was young, but she never well, I won't say never. She did hit me one time, and my mother got in an ass. um, but I had got older by that time. But when I was younger, she she was so nice and sweet. She taught me how to grow plants. She taught me everything I know about like growing shit, growing plants, and tending to a garden. How to like cook, prepare, and cook like a chicken from it being alive, not just going to the store and getting it and cooking it. I'm talking about like a live chicken. How to kill it, dress it, and fix it up from the yard. She's the one who taught me how to do that. um Same thing with a pig, same thing with a rabbit. Well, no, her husband showed me how to do the pig and the deer. But she told me how to do a goat, she told me how to do a rabbit, she told me how to do a possum, squirrels, and chickens. Yeah, and chickens. hmm How old were you when she passed? She passed in 2004. Yeah, she passed January of 2004. End of January. And a year later, her mother died, 2005. That's who I wish I knew more about. Yuli Spivey, my great great grandmother. She was born in 1914. Her mother was a fortune. Y'all know, y'all watching um Gilded Age, Mr. Fortune on there. She more than likely is kin to him. That's a real person. And so she's more than likely kin to him based on where he's from and where my grandmother was from. My great 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 grandmother was from. They all Mississippi, but her family comes from either um you can meditate on her and ask her to send you messages. I don't want to do that. That is not my type of tea. I don't want nobody coming sending me no messages. Stay where y'all at, honey. I don't need no messages like that, darling. Virginia. They were from Virginia, which is where the fortune no. No, I don't invite people into my space for messages. I invite people into my space for needs, not my needs, but their needs. Like I have general prayers with my egunguns. General, just in I ask them for protection and to bring me bring me like blessings. But when I call to them, I call them to get what they need. What do I need to put something different on my altar? Do I need to put something different? Like when I do sacrifices and when I do offerings, what do they want? Do they want me to bring them some gin? Do they want me to bring them some tobacco? Do they want me to bring them? So when I'm calling them, it's not for my needs. It is for me to figure out what they want me to give them on my altar. And so so that's what I ask for. I don't really need to know other messages other than that. And I'm very, very clear about 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 that. Because you can open up people, you'll be sitting moving like Oda Mae Brown on the Ghost where niggas is just coming. No. No. Like Whoopi Goldberg on Ghost. But yeah, Virginia, my family, most of my family tree goes back on my mama's side goes back to Mississippi or Virginia. Mississippi or Virginia, darling. Helen Fortune. Yeah, no. I don't like that. I don't like. I specifically, honey, it has to be emergency. Come to me in emergency situations. But I like to be sensitive to it though. If they're just coming all the time, I don't feel like people who are sensitive. I think it numbs you if they're just coming all the time. I like when if there's emergency situation and I need to be aware of shit. I like, honey, wake me up out of my sleep. If somebody trying to come in my house or if something I need to be warned about. Most Black Christian church folks are very rooty. Yeah, very, because it's in our hoodoo is a part just as much as Christianity is. Hoodoo is a part of our lineage too. I came to release things I couldn't let go of in the physical world. Yeah, I rather have Orisha come than ancestors. If somebody need to come, honey, I'd rather it be Orisha. Give me that. Give me that. Give me that. Give me that. A lot of Bible magic was afoot, and they didn't even know what they were doing. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Whoa. It's just really cool to see just kind of these random people that you kind of kin to, even like the white people. Like, oh, who are these people? Writing down names and placing them in the Bible at specific scriptures, reciting specific verse and inserting people's name. When you serve a gungun as a spiritual person, ancestry becomes more profound. Mm-hmm. I love to go on my on people page and add them on Facebook and be like, "Hey, cousin," when I find them on Ancestry. I find them on Facebook and be like, "Hey, cuz, what's up? What you up to?" They be doing it to me too. Mm-hmm. Mm. It gags him too, I'm sure. Every time he sign in, he got to see me. Because it showed you whoever you got the most kin to. Specialize in love. Let me work on you. I'm going through the list of new people to see if any names I recognize. This is how I found out I was kin to Marvin Sapp. We are six cousins removed, fourth or sixth cousins. But I always gag me these white people. I wonder what these white people be saying when they see is niggas in their bloodline. Like, who is these niggas that I'm kin to? I be wanting to know. Have you thought of your spiritual practice as a business? No. Mm-mm. I wouldn't want to make my spiritual practice as a business. That's my solace. I already have businesses that I'm running that I barely want to do the business with them. They shouldn't be surprised. They know they descended from slave owners. It's like play. They like to play oblivious. I never met white people with this last name Jenkins, and it had to come from somewhere. It definitely did. Oh, hey. What are some of y'all last names? Like, what are some of the y'all ancestral names that you kin to? Like close kin to. So I am a. Let me go to my tree. So I am a Collier and a Glenn. That's my mom and dad. So I am a Collier and a Glenn. I am a Weaver and a Hughley and a Brown, a Spivey and a Macbeth, a Jones or Armand, a Frazier, a Hughley. What if I'm connected to D.L. Hughley's A transphobic ass. A Weaver, a Hughley, a Middleton, and a Helms. The Helms is cool. But this is... Oh, man. A Brown, a McMorris, and a Glenn. Holyfield, come on, Holyfield. Whitsett, Evans, and Wingo. Interesting. Wingo. That's a name I've never heard. Wingo. Holyfield. Y'all only got two? What's y'all grandparents' name and maiden name? Evans and Wingo. I really never heard of somebody named Wingo. Where is he from? I've never met a Holyfield, but I know the boxer. Whitsett. I don't think I've heard of Whitsett. Bostic. Oh, baby, it's giving Polish. Peoples, Mason, McGee, Rogers. I know them. But Bostich? Bostich, that sounds Polish. Oh, that's some the Bostich name is from England. Cheshire. That was some Great Britain people. So far, the only other black Wingos that I know are in Cali, and we met on Facebook. Watson and Braggs, Glover, Hawthorne, Moore, and Galvin. My mom was Addison. Knows nothing else about my father's side. That makes sense. My granddaddy is from Low Country, South Carolina, Geechee. Yeah. I would, you know what? I was going to hire a private investigator. I was going to hire them to help me find my brother. I have a brother on my dad's side, and he's grown now. And he's younger than me, but he's grown, and he's in the Air Force. And I don't know enough about him, but I know about my dad's name, but I don't know about his name. But he don't talk to my dad either. So I would love to. I'm gonna have to do that. I'm gonna look into that to see if I can find him. He's in the Air Force. But he don't talk to my dad. And when I asked my dad about him, he stopped talking to me. I was born and raised in Orangeburg. Most of the family is in Charleston. You should look him up. I don't know how to begin to look him up because I don't even know his name, date of birth. I don't know. I don't really know anything about him. I only met him. I met him when I was like 11, so I don't really know. And they called him a nickname, so I don't know his like birth name. I'm pretty sure, but I don't know how to look that up. I think it was San Diego, maybe. I'm not 100% for sure, but that's where I met him at, San Diego. That's where they lived at the time when he was a kid, and they had been living there. So, San Diego. Mm, okay. I didn't know many of my relatives' actual government name until they passed. The county. Now you got me looking in the county records of San Diego. Do they have like a search? I see where you can order a birth certificate, but do they have like a, how do you see it? The county vital records would be a great starting point. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to pay for no birth certificate, but I don't even know his name. And they're not any kind of search. I need to close this off because it's hurting my eyes. Oh no, getting worse. Oh, it wore my eyes out. Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't think this one does. Now that I don't see it. Mm. Unless I'm missing it. I'm seeing something. They be always trying to charge you for little dumb shit. No, thank you. Well, all right, y'all. I'm about to get up out of here. It is 3, almost 3. But it was good talking to y'all. Bye-bye.